Call this meeting to order, January 7th of the Ordinance Review Committee. Let's stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, looks like the first order of business is to approve the minutes from December 3rd. Everyone had a chance to review or see them or go over everything? Mm-hmm. Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes from December 3rd, 2025?
I make a motion, we approve the minutes from December 3rd, 2025.
Second.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. So it looks like the first thing, some old business, was the draft table of contents, which I believe is this one right here. That I believe Lindsay had prepared for us. Everyone kind of look it over and have any questions, comments with like sort of working through it, looking through it, find anything out of order, anything concerning?
I know that we had said we were going to split out the nonconformance and enter it into like the chapters it applies to. After some further research, I'm going to suggest that nonconformance is its own chapter altogether. And then within that chapter, we can, divide out. We have a chart. I actually have a recommendation that I've given. So that would just be my only thing, is once we figure out where that should be and.
Okay. Okay, so non-conformance.
I'm glad it was taken out of the beginning, within the first few chapters, the non-conformance. And I wasn't sure whether, I know that it's in the Chapter 5 Shoreline District and also Chapter 7. Was it just going to refer back to those pages? It wasn't going to be all spelled out again, was it? Well, that was my question about that.
Well, I think originally we thought we would pull out and write them out in each of those chapters, but if we do a separate chapter, then I don't think we even have to put it in those chapters.
Right. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Because then, someone might be looking at nonconformance with the shoreline, within the shoreline district, but there might be something that has to do with another type of nonconformance. You might as well have it all in the same spot.
Right.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I just think it got lost in Chapter 1 amongst everything else
Yeah.
that was in Chapter 1.
Yeah. I would agree.
I did also, in the handout that I gave tonight, I just separated out Chapter 1. So we won't, I'll do this with each chapter and put it in our Google folder. Just so it's easier, hopefully.
Yep. Okay, so I guess other than just separating non-conformance, I believe that pretty much takes care of that draft table of contents, if we're good with, other than separating that out at the moment. I didn't notice anything on my end.
I think we talked about at the last meeting not having all of so many numbers, like 2.1, 0.4, 0.3.
Right, I think that's the formatting. I think we'll get
to that, okay.
I think that's the next thing. So there you go. You just let us right in.
Oh,
so there you go.
Okay, there we go. I didn't even look at it.
So I guess, we're gonna Chapter 1, I guess the draft formatting option, I think we were supposed to just kind of check out some other towns' websites and ordinances and how they kind of went about it in terms of their numbering system, unlike this, I guess what would be the electrical code style, which is pretty hard to just kind of get through. And I believe, looks like we have some suggestions here in terms of formatting.
Yeah, so,
Betty? Yep.
again, in the packet that I handed out, and I do apologize, I'm just getting back from vacation, so like I said, once I hit my feet on the ground today, I kind of went full bore.
Okay.
So I looked again and did a little research, just kind of searched some others, looked on, the internet. And I would suggest that I don't even know if it's really called a hybrid, but I would suggest that we do like a chapter and then do that chapter, like say it's chapter 1, then do chapter 1, 1.1 short title, and then do the A, B, and then the 1, 2, the lowercase a, lowercase b, and then get into the, the 5th or the 4th level if we need it. The goal would be is as we're going through this, is to maybe simplify or pull out sections and make them their own sections. And reformat if we're looking into, like, I think some of these, once you get into the performance, you're getting into like, levels of like 8, 9, 10 down from, your main title, which gets confusing and long. So I did just kind of take chapter 1 and do a quick, this could be the format. You do the ABCs.
Do we even need all of those numbers? Can't we just have a chapter and then just have subtitles?
I would suggest putting,
How do you reference?
the subtitle, like the 1.2, the purpose, and then listing out, anything there.
Right, without any, 1.2 or 1, oh, I see what you did here, 1.1.
Right.
So if you have to reference it, you would do 1.2A, 1.2B.
Right, so it still kind of follows that formatting style, but the elimination, or at least the better combination, I think, of letters and numbers with
Right.
subsections down is a little easier.
And like if you just
Yeah.
skip to like the 1.42, it goes 1.42C, then you would reference 1 or 2 or 3 if you're within that section. So, which is actually Bridgeton. I did print out Bridgeton's ordinance, and that's what they follow. They do the title, then, within that chapter, there's, A, B, C, and then the 1, then the A's.
Is this what you're looking at, this one here?
Yeah, in what I looked at, I did like the way that Bridgeton's just read, you know, from viewing it. That was the one that I kind of had highlighted. I looked at Naples, theirs was a little bit different. But I liked the way Bridgeton's read. Obviously, I have it up here. I certainly don't have an issue with that hybrid style of doing it that way.
Waterford's is similar. They have the sections. You know, section 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, and then underneath. Then it
think-
goes to A, or A, B from there.
Yeah, I think Freiburg's kind of does that more or less the same as well. I mean, it seems to be the go-to style of doing it, so I'm certainly okay with that.
Yeah, and Harrison is the same.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're going to be using it a lot, Lindsay.
Yeah.
Anything that stands out for you or anything? I don't want to put you on the spot, but.
But you did.
That's why we made it.
The other goal too, I think, as we're going through this, is where can we use tables to
Yeah.
simplify? If something is, you know, 20, there's 20 bullet points, can we use a table for that and make it easier? It would be
Yeah.
easier to
Just reference the table.
amend in the future.
Oh, definitely, and easier to read.
And easier to read.
Right, yeah, I would agree.
And interpret.
So the hybrid style, is that something we want to move forward?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
You okay with that? Everyone good? You okay? Okay, I guess we will move forward with that style. Thank you, Betty, for giving us some good illustrations. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And so I guess, what was this one in reference to? Was this just an example of kind of?
No,
Is
so
that moving
this, so yes, in your packet, you'll see, like I said, I had just exported chapter 1, so it'd be easier to look at tonight. And then the next page, it says 1726 BL. These are my recommended revisions of the following sections in chapter 1, excluding the non-conformance section. And so the recommendation is in black, and then in blue is, you know, what changed, why I'm recommending the revision. I apologize that it's not like a red line from what we have, but it was just easier to rewrite.
Yeah, I do like that it's kind of broken out because, I mean, it just seems like the sentence contains so much within something that, like, you can't pick out exactly what you're looking at. There's
Right.
just so much information that's just thrown out at you. I certainly like that it's broken out, and at least the highlights are there.
And I think breaking it out that way will help the planning board when they're reviewing applications and.
Based on the format we're gonna use, shouldn't those be letters though?
They should be, you're right.
Okay, so those will be letters, but
Yes.
for the general purpose.
But I like that it's broken out also.
It's not up here, because those are the purposes.
But yeah, so that's the title, and then it would go A, B, C, D.
So it'd still be 1.2 purpose, but then it would read A, B, C, D.
Right.
Yep.
I don't think so. Because what you did was just you took the paragraph form and put it into a list form. So it's not anything new, it's all describing the purpose.
Right, but the format that we said that we were gonna use with, sorry, I am losing my voice.
I think what it was is that because the first sentence just reads to, the further maintenance of safe and healthful conditions, general welfare, prevent water pollution, spawning grounds, fish, aquatic, bird, wildlife habitat, boom, boom. It's just a bullet point of a bunch of different stuff. And I think the only reason like these sentences would help is during review for the planning board, like it's such a run-on sentence that something could just easily get
Oh, yeah.
overlooked. So that I think that's why maybe breaking it out like that is helpful, but I agree with you, like, it is a paragraph, so.
Right. No, I agree that
Yeah.
that it's very helpful having
Yeah.
it broken out,
Yeah.
but you're not breaking out something new, a new section. Like if you look at chapter 1, they're different, it's talking about something different is when you're changing over to ABC. This is just listing the 15 parts of this paragraph.
But they're
of
a
this section.
subsection of the purpose.
Right, they are.
So that's what the A, B, those are like primary subsections of the heading, which the heading would be 1.2 purpose.
I just view it differently.
Yeah.
So see, and like
Yeah.
Bridgeton's, it does the section 1.2 and then it will list, so the purpose.
Unless we just want to bullet point them out and avoid numbers and letters completely because it's not.
Well, I think if you number it, it's easier to reference it quickly. Oh, let's look at number 9.
But I guess if you're referencing it, you're going 1.2 point one again. We're right back to the same numbering as we were before, right?
Correct. So it would be like 1.2A.
Right. Because if we still kept the numbers, then we'd be right back to kind of where we started with the, 5.16.4.4, electrical code style. So I think with bullet points, I think we at least I think for the planning board, because if we're going to specifically mention something that we're, in favor of or against, I think we have to break each one of them out so that we can specifically point out, each one here. I would think that would be helpful. Because if it's, it's water, if it's water pollution, then we're going to reference 1.2 point B.
Right.
As opposed to,
Because if you jump ahead to the 1.7, the initiation of amendments, you did the same thing. You listed the 1, 2, 3. Just by 1, 2, 3.
Right, and I, not knowing what format we were going to use, this just, I bulleted it like this.
So looking at 1.7, would it be 1.7B or would it just say B, initiation of amendments? Oh, sorry, 1.7A.
A, right?
So it would
And then
be
you-
A.
so
Right.
it'd be,
So would
that
it, so would
would
it just be A or would it be 1.7
be 1.7.
A
No, it'll be 1.7, and then you'll have A
underneath it?
as the initiative of amendments, B for the adoption,
Right,
C, the public hearing,
yeah.
D, and then so does everyone agree though with, what's written in 1.2? It's everything that we already have. It just, clarifies it,
Yeah.
organizes it clearer.
Yeah, I'm certainly okay with it. I mean, it's one of the more less complicated sections that we're gonna look at. I'm certainly okay with that.
I think it's more user-friendly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, yeah, so I would say definitely that section 1.2, I think is good, assuming that we can just renumber those, or put those in A, B, C, D
Right.
format, alphabetical format. I think that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you have, 1.3? Which is building structure. Yeah, I'm certainly okay with 3. I like the use of all use of land and water areas. That makes sense.
Is this, am I reading this wrong? When it says whether existing or proposed shall conform, does that mean if something was not in conformity, you have to make it into conformity?
No, because I think the existing then is dealt with within the non-conforming. It's a non-conforming structure of record. And then you have all of those requirements for non-conforming. Saying that they can't be enlarged, they can't, change of use has to go.
Okay.
Other thoughts, comments?
I can see where that line would be confusing.
The existing,
Yeah.
yeah, I was looking at, so the original did not have that. But
Because it says I understand what you're saying, but if you
Yeah.
read further, it says, shall conform to the provisions of this ordinance. And so within this ordinance, there's a section for non-conforming.
Okay,
And so any existing,
Right.
if it's a non-conforming existing, then you need to conform to the non-conformance section of the ordinance. So the one that we have now, one could read that if my land's non-conforming, or my use, or my building, I can do anything I want with it. Because it doesn't say existing. I have a non-conforming existing use. Why can't I just do whatever I want to it? But, well, I mean, we'll get legal opinion anyways on wording.
Yeah, we can definitely ask Meredith on that, but I know what you're doing and why you're doing it, especially from the planning board side. That's good. That will certainly help out, you know, when you reference existing nonconformity, because, I mean, we have a lot of lots around here that are non-conforming
Yes.
lots, and people, you know, especially near bodies of water, you know, that are limited in what they can and can't do, you know, when we're trying to be reasonable and help, you know, certain people out with things by trying to make it pretty consistent from beginning to end. So I do like that. But you can check with Meredith if you'd like. But
Yeah, I just made a note.
okay, I'm certainly good. Any other comments on 1.3?
No.
Okay. All right. I guess we'll go on to, 1.4 we had just mentioned. We'll just note that 1.4, the nonconformance, we're going to break out into its own section. So I'm certainly okay, because obviously that's the lapse in this here. So that will be its own, which is a pretty large section. So that takes us, I guess, to validity and severability.
So that'll get changed to 1.4.
If we're going to follow what, I guess, what we had previously just said that nonconformance is going to be its own, then yes, yeah, I believe that all of these can be updated to go up at least one based on this. So that will be 1.4. Provisions of this ordinance are severable.
1.5's in here twice. No, it's not. I'm crazy. Please ignore me.
Done.
Section. Yeah, I certainly have no issue with, I guess, what would be 1.5, which is now 1.4. Seems along the same lines. I think it just kind of reinforces, just lets people know.
It's the inner office. We're all set.
Looks fine to me.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
Yep, I'd say that's good, so that would be, okay. So now, I guess it would be the conflict with other ordinances, which will be 1.5.
So I know this has come up with me anyways, with code enforcement is, if there is a state ordinance that is stricter than ours, we're always asked, well, do you follow the state or do you follow yours? With this revision, it, specifically says that the stricter of the ordinance would be the governing, which I think would be the intent.
Yeah, which I think we already kind of more or less have in our ordinances, especially with like rural versus village versus anything. The
Right.
more restrictive one is the one that's going to apply, so.
Well, we can't be less restrictive than the state, right?
We can.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is home rule. I mean, if we wanted to be, except for shoreland, I should say.
Oh, but in other areas, okay.
Yeah.
So if this section is saying that we're gonna go with the greater restrictions, why would we have anywhere in here where they are less restrictive?
Because we never know what the state's going to do for like any law changes or that might affect, an ordinance. So I think they could change an ordinance so it is less restrictive, but we've based ours on the restrictive one. And then if the state decides to change and I keep saying the state could be, it could be within the state DEP, it could be, they may decide to change something so it is less restrictive. So then it would be less restrictive than ours. And until we decided to review that section in ours, then ours would be the most restrictive, and we would conform to ours.
But what if ours is less restrictive than the state's? This is saying that we have to go with the state's.
Yes, if the state decides that hypothetically, all 250 feet of the shoreland district are restricted as much as the 100 foot, but we hadn't caught up with that yet, we haven't upgraded or edited our ordinance, then we have to go by what the state says until we can bring our own ordinance into conformance with the state. I guess that just protects us in an instance like that.
That makes sense.
That certainly makes sense to me.
That was the best
Yeah.
example I could use.
No, that's perfect.
And I think with the
Usually.
ever-changing laws that are being imposed from the state, we're better off, the example being right now, the state passed a law that, you can have three dwellings on a residential lot.
That was the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're going less restrictive, yeah. Right.
Right.
So you're saying we could trump that?
As of right now,
Yeah.
until we are forced, which we will be by June of 2027, to change our ordinance. But as of right now, we could fall back on our ordinance and say we don't allow that yet.
But this is saying that we will fall back on that.
We would fall back on ours because it's more restrictive.
Right, yeah.
Right. Which I think is where
Not
we
can,
want to
but
be on
will.
that
Right.
issue.
Yeah,
For now.
yeah.
Until we get it figured out.
Makes sense. Plus, they'll change it anyways.
Yeah.
Well, weren't there two different versions
Yeah.
with the ADUs?
Yes. Yes, there is. Yeah, I'm certainly good with the way it reads to be, choose the more restrictive one there. Anybody disagreement?
I agree with it.
Okay.
It protects us on both sides.
Yeah, yep. So now we are to 1.7, which will be 1.6. And then those headings, I think, ones will just be lettered A, B, C, D, as I think we had mentioned before. To me, this all seems right in line with kind of what we had before, cleaning up some language and grammatical errors and everything. thoughts on it?
Looks good to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know about that. If they didn't respond in 45 days, then you're good to go. Surprised they haven't said, oh, we don't have enough staff to do all of that in that time.
Yeah, they look so
The only
reasonable.
other thing that I think I might add here, if we wanted to, was that within the shoreland district amendments, it's been customary that we actually send in the proposed amendments to our DEP representative, even before, as we're doing them. And then they can comment, let us know if, it is going to conform, whether, it should pass or should not pass within the department. So, like I said, I don't know if we want to add something that we should correspond with DEP during the process, or...
As long as I don't think it would delay anything, the process, I'm okay with that. Maybe giving more feedback to people who are going to be in that situation would be a good thing, as long as we're not doing well, here's one thing, you change that, go back, here's another thing, like maybe just like a wholesale. As long as I guess it just doesn't slow down the process for whoever it might be.
That's my questions. How responsive is DEP to any request we send them?
Depends what they are and who you're dealing with. I will say that typically with an ordinance amendment, they seem to be pretty responsive. I think the point being that I'd hate to get all the way to town meeting and it get voted on here, and then DEP rejects
Oh.
it.
I see.
Yeah.
So I think this saves us time,
Yes.
like a whole,
Right,
a whole
yeah.
year
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
time,
Oh, sure.
if we're gonna be real.
Yeah,
I don't think it's mandatory, like, it doesn't need to be put in here as mandatory, but like,
Right.
May.
that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
May is a good word, yes.
Especially when you're dealing with the gusto.
Yeah, we may
Right.
submit for prior DEP review, or submit for DEP review prior to the adoption.
Or consultation.
Right,
Yeah,
something along those lines.
Yep.
Consultation, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would move things much more quickly,
Yep.
expeditiously.
Okay, I guess, so if we're all good with that one, move on to repetitive amendments, which would be 1.7. Change to 1.7.
Yes.
Seems pretty straightforward to me. I don't have an issue with anything here on this.
Is this one that we talked about briefly at the last meeting, or it kind of parallels it, where the language is a little bit different, and someone brings something in that they wouldn't have to wait as long to bring it before whatever the legislative body might be?
What was that? What was that?
There was something
It
about
had more to do with permitting, what we talked about last time.
Right. What was that?
That was, if someone was requesting a permit for something, that they couldn't come back again for at least a year, even though it may have been something
Oh,
that was very
yeah,
different.
That was conditional use
Yeah.
Conditional use.
under the planning board jurisdiction.
Right.
Yep.
So does
condition-
this parallel that, or am I reading into this too much?
I'm pretty sure it parallels it, if I'm not mistaken, right, Betty? More or less?
I mean, more or less.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that this was probably here, and then that's the planning board paralleled theirs with this.
I mean, only partially, because if somebody wants a conditional use and there's no similar use to the point where the planning board's like, we're not gonna do this because we can't based on our current ordinance, then they can propose the change. So is that, so it's only partially, I feel like. Because someone came in and was like, I don't agree with, I don't know, pick a section. I propose this change, and planning board, selectmen vote no, then that's one thing, that's setback requirements, let's say. And they say, well, I think we need to lessen the setback requirements. Then nobody can bring that back for a year. But if it's for conditional use and one of those, that's kind of what sets it apart, because then it's, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's not really a change, it's an addition. So if there's somebody wants to put in a super Walmart, but it's not in there and we have nothing like it, and they want to add it, but that we say no, can somebody come back in 6 months with a better proposed idea to add that to our table? Or do they have to wait the year? But if someone says we need less restrictive setback requirements, they have to wait the year. So it's same but different, if that made any sense at all.
Well, I mean, it is saying unless it's by unanimous vote of the planning board,
Yeah,
which brought into what we talked about last time about, that the planning board changes.
Right.
interesting.
Which there are 6 seats available.
Anybody's interested.
Coming up, yeah. Yep. Well, 5.
In June, you too could be a member of the planning board. All public.
Yeah, I guess I'm okay with the repetitive amendments there. I think that's fine, as long as it aligns, which it pretty much does, with what's there. I don't see anything on the planning board side or from this side that would cause me any concern, I guess.
So so a quick search says that we should not apply a waiting period to CUPs, conditional use permits, by implication would raise due process concerns, meaning that the applicant does have a statutory right to apply. The CUP decisions must, must be based on the record that's in front of them, and prior denials cannot be considered with that new application or record. So
Right, so same but different.
Yeah.
so when we get to that section,
Yeah.
we'll just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Well, that kind of helps out with, well, you let them do this. Well, but that was completely different. Which helps everybody, especially you.
Yeah.
So does that mean there cannot be a time period in there, or the time, or?
For conditional use permits,
conditional-
for
Yeah.
amendments you
Conditional use,
can.
for amendments,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So keep it to.
For amendments, they actually recommend it.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Everyone good? Allison, you all set?
Yes.
With that too? Okay. Okay, effective date. 1.9. Which would be 1.8. Except so 1.7.4 would be 1.6
D.
D. If I'm looking at that right? Yep. Section.
No, I'm sorry, I'm lost.
Well, it says effective date, which would be 1.8, and says except
Oh,
otherwise provided.
gotcha.
Section, I think that would be 1.6 D.
Yeah, so it would be like subsection 1.6, paragraph D, I think,
Gotcha.
is how it should be written, question mark?
Yeah, so at the end of this, we're gonna have to check all of these
Yeah.
reference sections.
Right.
Yep.
Seems fine with
No,
me.
look at me.
Come on. Section 1.6, paragraph D, however. However it goes. Something like that.
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay. So, I guess the next thing would maybe be to discuss kind of what we're going to look ahead at, which would maybe be chapter 2 based on the table of content draft. I feel like chapter 3 is a big one to start to get into zoning and districts and everything. Do you want to try to do 2,
Well, do we want,
or do we want to?
Do the non-conformance one, part of it, this,
Oh,
because that got pulled out of chapter 1, so we'll just
yeah,
Might
we
as
could
well.
do that.
do that.
Yeah.
We have it in front of us.
Yeah.
And I know this is chapter X, X is whatever chapter
Okay.
we name it.
Yep.
It doesn't mean chapter 10.
Okay. Let's see.
Where do we think it should go?
6, 7, 8. 12.
I think it should go after administration.
After chapter, what's now chapter 5, performance standards, specific activities and land uses. I don't know. Pretty much more versed in the land.
Are you looking at the current table of contents or the
Yes.
proposed one?
The current one, yes, not the.
The proposed one
Let me
was,
look at the
this.
proposed, sorry.
Yep. I guess to me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me whether it's after administration or after the establishment of districts. It might flow better after administration. I mean, I guess I'm gonna just defer to.
If you look at other ordinances, it does fall on after administration, but that doesn't.
Yeah, it seems like a couple other ones do non-conforming and then they go into land use. It seems like we have chapter 3, the districts in between there that maybe some other people don't have broken out like we do. But
Yeah, so maybe it should be after chapter 3.
That's what I think.
yeah. Right.
General administration, establishment of districts, nonconformity, and then,
Non-conforming and then the land
and
use.
then
Like,
land use, shoreland
right.
resource.
So you're going from non-conforming into the land use. I think that makes sense.
So it would be chapter 4.
Yeah.
Is that?
X.
4X.
Chapter 10.
So I'll add that and reprint the table of contents for the next meeting,
Okay.
just so we have a visual.
So I have spoken to Meredith, she couldn't be here tonight, and I said that I thought I would suggest that we can review like the non-conforming breakout, and then I can send it to her to review, because she is focusing on the non-conforming section of the ordinance, and having, writing up any legal opinion that she has on that. I also said that I thought at the next meeting, which she should be able to attend, that we would just set aside a section for like legal questions, because I know she's given us a packet at the last meeting, and then there'll be this non-conforming. So if we want to maybe have some questions for her that ahead of time, you can send to me and then I can send off to her. If we can get those by like the end of the month, to give her a good week to look at them. So I am gonna say with the recommendation that I've given you tonight, there's actually, the last page of this is a cross-reference to the existing ordinance, to my recommendation, and then also notes some DEP relevance. I did change like authority of planning board and CEO in here, per some of our discussion and per what I think Lindsay and I would recommend. But
Yeah, like the foundation repair or replacement, code enforcement, yeah. Yeah, yep.
So looking at other ordinances around, Bridgeton does a very similar to what I have, excuse me, I have recommended. So they give the CEO the authority on foundations and anything that doesn't increase the nonconformity. So if somebody's coming in just to replace part of the structure that's less than 50% and they're not adding on to that footprint, that CEO authority, it doesn't go through planning board. So essentially planning board would get anything that would potentially make it more non-conforming, increasing the footprint, increasing heights above what the foundation allows, the 3 foot. Some reasoning for that is one on the part of the applicant not having to wait
Yes.
a 2-month period just to put a foundation under an existing building. You know, and if they're not making it any more non-conforming, which they shouldn't be anyways, it shouldn't be approved. But
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that makes a
Yeah,
lot of
Lindsay.
sense.
I'll leave it there.
I'm all for that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm certainly all for that.
So are we tackling this by section, or we just skip to 5.5?
Oh,
I would suggest sections, but
We jumped to 0.5, so I guess we can start there for a second.
well, I think all of the, you know, the general provisions, all of that is pretty much boilerplate.
yeah.
Has the state changed the 3-foot rule yet?
The state has changed that for many years. Denmark has never changed it.
So what do we do?
The state would like to see us take our 3-foot allowance away. So the 3-foot allowance was many years ago. The state had it written in that if you were in a floodplain, you could raise 3 feet, so you're out of the floodplain, or, you know, closer to being out of the floodplain. It might not have gotten you all the way out of the floodplain, but through the state, that 3-foot provision was just for floodplain.
I mean, if you're putting a foundation underneath a camp that's falling into the ground, you need that 3 feet.
From a building standpoint, I agree with you.
Or putting,
If not, it's gonna rot just as much.
I mean, just blocking and beams and everything else, you
Yeah.
need 3 feet regardless.
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean, I would like to see that stay in ours.
But that does go back to the more restrictive thing, which we talked about earlier.
Right.
So if the state doesn't allow it, then we have to go with it anyway. I would love to see it stay because it makes sense for building and for homeowners and everything else. But if we revert back to a section we've already talked about, we have to go with the state anyway. Doesn't matter what ours says because theirs is more restrictive.
Jeez.
Shot ourselves in the foot with that one.
Yeah. I mean, what's the heck? We used to put a foundation underneath it if it's,
It would limit a lot of people to a crawl space rather than a full foundation.
still, you're not getting the building up out of the snow load. Yeah.
Maybe that's something for Meredith we could ask. Can we make exceptions to that? Explicitly state it somewhere as being this does not
Well, I mean,
apply to
They give an
this?
exception to the exception.
Exception to the exception?
I do actually have a note here to ask Meredith, how does the conflict of other ordinances, how do state ordinances and laws factor into that? Because we don't specifically say state. This could be just ordinances within the town, so.
I think I think as the town would want the ability to adapt or change things as we kind of see fit, or at least have the opportunity or option to.
yeah.
So I don't know if reworking what was said prior specifically completely shuts us off, and if it does, then, I mean, is this something, I would like to keep it in, but is this something that we have to get rid of, and how many times are we going to go through this particular situation
Right.
to where we're giving up things because of one particular item, or one particular section that states that we have to?
I mean, the only thing with the 3 feet, which I agree from a building standpoint, but there's maximum height in certain parts of the 100-foot zone. And within 75 feet, it's 20 feet. So if you have an existing structure that is already 30 feet high, and then you put a foundation under it that adds 3 feet to it, now we're at 33, which makes
Right.
it
More non-conforming.
way more non-conforming. So, I mean, I can see where both sides are coming from, unfortunately.
If you got a 30-foot structure, you better hope it has a foundation.
One would hope.
What if they took this before the planning board? The planning board said, yeah, we're still good with it. Like, we recognize it, but we don't. Like, yeah, we're good. But that still gives you the 3-month delay of going through that whole process.
Right,
Still
it would
right back to
still
it.
be against the state if the state took away the 3 feet.
But could the planning board have the authority to vote and say, well, we're good with that on a town level?
Oh, so it'd have to be, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're coming before the town, basically almost asking for a variance, more or less.
Yeah.
I guess that's a legal question. So I don't know if we can supersede that.
So, I mean, basically the state generalizes and says that any alteration, which placing a foundation under a non-conforming structure is an alteration, cannot make the structure any more non-conforming. So, I mean, I would take that to mean that if you're under the height restriction,
Right. So
you're allowed to have that 3 feet. If the 3 feet puts you over the height restriction,
You may have
It's
to
more
get
non-conforming.
then it's more non-conforming.
Right, so if that 3 feet brings you up to the 20 or 25, depending on what part of the shoreline you're in, then you're good to go. If not, then you're more non-conforming.
The discussion that has come up in the past on this is that, how do I word this? So if your height is already at, 20 feet, this has been in the past interpreted that you could add 3 feet to that 20 feet. And then the argument is made that, well, you've just made it more non-conforming if you're within, is it 50 feet or 25 feet?
75.
75. Because you have an existing height already, you're making an alteration. The way that we word this now,
You have to cut 3 feet off, well, you can't.
I'm glad my barn's nowhere close to the water. Just raised it 5 feet.
It's like my camp is already on like posts,
Right,
so to put a foundation under it, it
would be fine.
it would be fine. I wouldn't have to add any height to it
Right.
because it's already up off the ground, at least in the front.
Which most of them should be, I would think. I mean,
A lot of them,
yeah.
but
So
some
the-
were built on just not elephant feet, but you know what I mean, the
Yeah.
Sonotubes.
Sonotubes.
sonotubes or just
Or
the
just
round,
rocks.
or just rocks, or just the
Right.
round
A lot of camps.
concrete.
Cinder blocks.
Yeah.
Most camps have been upgraded at this point, though.
I don't think they're at 30 feet.
so the way
No,
that,
but they're definitely working.
the way that it's in the existing ordinance is actually a little different than, I think, what I have put in the recommendation. The existing ordinance, and this is the word, it says that as long, you can put the foundation if it does not cause the structure to be elevated by more than 3 additional feet. And so that's why I think in the past, builders were always said, well, the height of the foundation, the height of the building
+3.
plus 3, because it's saying you can do an additional 3 feet.
I interpreted it the same way.
That makes sense to me. As long as it's under 30 feet.
Well, 20 and 25. Within 75 feet, it has to be 20. It
Oh.
cannot exceed 20 unless you already have it. 75 to 100 cannot exceed 25 unless you already have it. So if you rebuild your structure on the same footprint and you had a 27-foot structure, you can have those 27 feet back. I can't take any away from you, but I also cannot give you any more.
Interesting.
That's how the law is written. So, I don't know, I would just ask legal about number 2.
Right.
So are we in agreement that we would like to have that ability for a builder?
Yeah.
I am.
I would. I would for local builders and people
Right.
who have camps on the lakes, absolutely. Otherwise, they'd fall in disrepair. Or the alternative is they're gonna go at the ground around the structure to grade it different. If they can't, you know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
if
Like
the-
that, I think that's a worse.
So we go on the site walks, right?
Right.
And if the land and the way the current building is allows for a foundation to be put under it, whether it be a full foundation or a crawl space, if the ground is too wet and the camp is on the ground, we're gonna need to lift it from a building standpoint. But if it's like my camp, where it's already off the ground and we want to put a foundation under it, do I need to increase the height? Probably not.
No. Right.
So I think it just has to do with the land that it's sitting on and how it's built. I don't think there's a one-stop shop for every structure in the shoreland.
No, well, certainly not.
Just my,
I like the idea of raising the ground level. You must know somebody with equipment.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, that's what you gotta think about though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to at least see it remain in there for builders.
See if we can keep it.
yeah, my vote is ask legal if we can keep it, and if we can't, then, well,
Sure. Yeah. I think-
shoot.
I mean, I think we have an argument with the state on keeping it because they don't specify that it can't be done.
Right.
They don't specify it can be done. I think the conflict then is with our own wording in the conflict section of our ordinance. And do we, Lindsay, you and I have had this conversation about a foundation then not being considered an expansion of this structure.
That was in the wording of the ordinance, but there's an argument on both sides of that also. If you're doing an 8-foot foundation and making 3 additional bedrooms, another bathroom, and another living room,
Yeah.
that's not that's a basement, but it's a finished basement, so,
So that's living space.
right.
And we've talked about this before, but the basement is not considered square footage.
No.
Not as it's
Unless it's
currently
finished.
worded.
No.
Unless
But
it's
if it is
livable
finished,
space.
it
If it's
does.
livable space, then you have to count it in the square footage. If it's just a basement,
Yeah.
that's not.
But egress windows, all that, everything.
Yeah.
You have to have all that in any of the rooms,
Like
basement
somebody
rooms,
did on
everything.
Lake Road.
Like somebody did on Mountain Road. Somebody.
This is why I don't put the microphone here in your face.
A finished basement, a basement, a cellar, and a crawl space can all be defined differently, which is just adds complexity to the whole thing. Yep. Cellar, basement, foundation.
Well, if it was a walkout basement that wasn't finished, just used for
So we
storage.
do define basement, cellar, and I think frost walls.
It's a different way of
Well, I
basement
guess we don't do
itself.
frost walls.
I think the amount of that foundation that's considered underground. I think if we looked at our definition.
That's all right, it's not that important. We just- It's like supper versus dinner.
Like a cellar is completely.
So I
underground.
think also part
So
of
it's only partially
where this came
underground.
into play was also years ago, when we used to count the volume. So it used to be you can, increase the volume by 30%. And so if you did have a basement that you put living space in, then that would count, because now you've increased your volume of living space.
Yeah.
But we didn't adopt the 30% rule, we adopted the square foot rule. So I think we need to reword this on how does this affect your square foot rule? If you put a foundation.
Because a crawl space, no one's, I don't
Hopefully
think
not gonna
anyone's
live
living down there. It'd be a little cramped.
This is a teenager.
All the kids get to sleep in the crawl space.
Because I think we actually specify somewhere else floor area and height limits that a basement shall not be counted toward the floor area.
In our current ordinance, we do. And I don't know, I feel like when we get to that, maybe we should specify. If you're gonna finish it, maybe it counts.
It's in here somewhere having to do with living space. I don't remember where I saw
If
it.
somebody finishes the basement afterwards, they can get a permit to do that. That's good information. Yeah. No. No, that's what yeah.
Unless you put it on the original plan.
Yeah.
I think we got sidetracked here.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a couple things then I guess maybe we'd check with Meredith about,
On
or
the question list.
question list
Yes.
on this particular one, X5.
But I do agree that if the footprint's not changing, no nonconformity is being increased, then it does not need to go to planning board. I can handle that. I have the training, I have the certifications.
Yep.
Yep, I'm like, yeah, I'm good with that.
And even an exact rebuild, as long as the square footage and the height and everything exactly the same, it just needs to be rebuilt.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the point of wasting time?
Oh, I
My time, planning board's time, the
certainly,
homeowner's time.
I certainly would agree as well.
And we definitely are not the only town to we wouldn't be the only town to operate like that,
Right.
as we've previously spoken about.
Okay, so we addressed X.5, more or less.
So we have an ask legal but otherwise agreement, right?
Yes. Okay, so X.6, or do we jump back to the beginning? Do you want to just quickly go through those other ones in the beginning? I think we
I
probably.
feel like we could bang out 1.1
Yeah.
to 1.4 pretty quick.
Yeah, I think let's do that. Let's just jump back. X.1, purpose and intent. Chapter. Conformity. Maybe this is just talking out loud. Is there anything in the town that, I know we talk about nonconformities, but is there anything in the town that is encouraging people to bring their nonconformity into conformity? And is there any way to do that or to help with that on a structure or a lot or something like that? I guess, like, if there's an existing, like with the oil company, fence, all that, there's no landscaping in front of it, right? That's a nonconformity right there for a certain section of our thing. Is there anything we're going to do to maybe promote conformity?
Unless you're gonna pay for it, I highly doubt it's
I
gonna
know,
happen.
that's what I'm saying, is I wonder if there's a way to help.
I'm sorry to tell you.
I mean, if it's there, it's pretty much grandfathered, right?
So,
Right,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you need to go back and see, like, it's case by case, so,
unless they pull a permit to do anything, right?
if they pull a permit now to do anything there, and it has to go through permitting process, either through Lindsay or,
Even if it's
Planning
an
board.
interior renovation? Is that still?
well, an interior renovation doesn't need to go through permitting processes.
But if that company were to close down,
Right,
shut their doors,
yeah.
and they were non-operational for
A year.
a year, and then somebody else comes in and buys it
Yeah,
and
yeah.
wants to make it their own company, they have to reapply, and then the new standards
Right.
would apply.
Just wondering if there's any way to help people bring it into conformity, if there's anything we could do. But if there's nothing off the top of our heads besides paying for it out of your own money,
But you used to run a condo association?
no.
Joy.
Well, for example, there are lots of lakefront houses where
Yeah,
they'll just tear the whole thing down and start all over again. So your question, I think, is a really good one. You know,
yeah.
why are we, because there was an existing footprint, should we be doing something to promote them being more conforming?
And like I said, I don't know if there's anything.
It's supposed
there's-
to be part of the, especially on the lakefront, that's supposed to be part of the planning board. However, there have been instances in the past where
Mhm.
things have been not handled that way. So, since I started this job, all we can do, in my opinion, is fix what we can fix
Mhm.
and move forward doing better. Because we can't repair the damage, all of the damage we can repair. Some of the damage, we cannot repair all of the damage that has been done in the past. All we can do is
Yeah.
move forward and do better. Because I've been fighting this fight for a couple years now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's just me thinking aloud.
But like across the street here, that's been out of commission for a couple years. So if anyone wants to do anything with that, they're gonna have to go back through the process. Therefore, they will
Right.
have to meet today's standards, not when that was built standards. So they're no longer grandfathered unless they had continued their operations all this time, but they have not.
Right,
That
right.
would be a tall order.
It will be a tall order whenever it does happen.
Yeah. No, I guess I'm good with X.1.
Yep.
Yep.
4.1.
Right.
4.1. Yes. Yep. 4.1. 4.2 general provisions.
Does 2C come from the state or is that our jam?
It's in ours already. It's under restoration or replacement.
Right, so does the 25%, was that just Denmark's brainchild or did that come from somewhere else? Do you know?
Well, let me see what it references.
Before I open my mouth any further.
If you exceed it by 25%, that's making it more non-conforming, right?
But that's just,
It's just talking about value, isn't it?
that's exceeding the market value.
Right.
So
Oh, okay, all right.
without getting,
Nowadays, that doesn't take much.
Yeah,
right, so if I buy a small house that has
Right,
old kitchen and
Mm-hmm.
just an old kitchen, if I
yeah.
right.
No,
If I have a kitchen reno, that right there is,
no, it went right past the
Could-
market value, I was thinking square footage.
Right, yeah.
or a kitchen and a bathroom. You're talking about increasing the
Two most
market
expensive.
value, and the market value right now is all over the place and has been for the last 20 years, in my opinion,
Certainly the last 5.
but especially the last 5. I just went backwards to include the, crash of 08.
Yeah. How do you come up with that 25? It's a moving,
Right.
yeah, it's a moving target.
And I'm not sure how any one of us, I'm not, unless we send the assessor out to everything that wants to be done.
No, you're right, just a kitchen upgrade. No, a bathroom upgrade.
So chapter 1000 is the 25%. So you can repair, maintain 25% or less without having to bring it into full compliance. And it says the 25% cap applies to cumulative work, not a single project. Once the 25% threshold is exceeded, additional work is no longer allowed under the maintenance and repair allowance. So then it would go into reconstruction.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
so there is a way to do it, just,
So if the house is worth 100,000, hypothetically, and their renovation is 25,000, they are capped out. They can no longer do maintenance and repair. That's tough.
Yep. Under the state, it says that the clock is a rolling 30-year period. But it's not tied to a specific date.
I mean, all the repairs over 30 years? Yikes.
So in a town that doesn't require a permit for a roof replacement, or a window replacement, or a door replacement, I mean, that's a pretty good chunk of that 25% right there, no matter how much your house is worth. How does one
How do you keep track?
keep
of that?
track of that? Asking for a friend.
It's just not enforceable. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
So
don't
I think you have to, so it's maintenance and repair.
Yeah.
So just because you redo your kitchen, it wouldn't count towards this because that's not maintenance and repair.
Yeah.
So
a
maintenance and repair is any structural replacement of siding, roofing, windows, repair or replacement of a foundation. So,
Decks, probably.
So the only thing that would count here is the foundation, because we don't require permits for windows, doors, and roofs, door sidings.
What about decks?
Decks, yes, but
Yes.
the foundation
that was
is
That's
probably
square
more than
footage, kept
25%.
towards your square footage.
yeah, but a lot
But
of
you can't
cabins
do that.
can't put a deck
No.
on right now because they've already met their maximum square footage. But
You
if
can
they
maintain.
replace it, they do need a permit, so I guess that would go towards it.
If you're replacing a deck, it's probably a maintenance thing.
Yeah,
Or a roof, I mean, gee, the cost of a roof is,
right, but that's not a recordable permit for us. Like, we don't
Right.
require a permit to redo a roof. Rebuild a deck? Yes. Or a porch or whatever the
Yeah.
case may be.
so
I'm just asking for clarification.
Yes.
So the way that our ordinance reads now, we should be requiring permits for anything over 25%. So if that roof replacement was 25% or over, we should be getting a permit for it.
And so who's doing that assessment?
good luck.
They?
We usually go by assessed value, and it's just the building, it's not the land.
So someone has an assessed $100,000 house. Right.
Yep.
Easy numbers here.
Yep.
And they need to do some repair, maintenance, whatever. They get a written quote from somebody that says 20,000, yet they're really going to be charged 40,000.
We can only go
Yeah.
by what they provide us.
Yeah, I mean, windows and siding is gonna go over 25%.
Does that limit you to the materials in which you can use as
Right,
well?
yeah,
Like, you don't
yeah.
wanna, I wouldn't wanna tell someone they can't put a metal roof on versus a shingle roof because you're gonna exceed it. So you can't put a metal roof on, sorry.
And what if you do the work yourself?
Well, again, this
Who's
is
gonna come down and say,
this,
"I'm putting a roof on."
Nobody, because for the last
Right.
I'd like to.
50 years that we've had an ordinance and a fee schedule and permitting, those have never been a,
But are we just specifically talking about a non-conforming structure here?
listen, this all started because I wanted to know where the 25%
All right. And if it's specific to the non-conforming,
It is.
It is.
It is,
which
yes.
it is and should be, I mean, doing more work than that would probably require planning board to look at it in some way anyways? Maybe?
Well, not necessarily.
Not necessarily, I don't know.
I mean,
So, I mean, to what Lindsay was saying, if somebody replaces their entire roof and it's over the 25% market value, the work being performed, we should be requiring a permit for that, which would require them to submit a proposal from their contractor. And if they are not satisfied with our assessed value, then they would have to provide us with an appraisal or a market value, realtor's market value.
Is this common for other towns besides just what we have written in here? This specific 25%?
Well, it's in the state rules, so I'm
Oh, yeah.
assuming
I
so.
would assume so, right.
so therefore, we go back to what's
Right.
more restrictive.
Right, exactly.
You got $100,000 camp, but it's really assessed now at 500. You can put a roof on all day.
we put 3 roofs on.
But that's the reality of it.
Yeah. All right. Sorry to make us go on another
No, no, no.
No.
road
I'm
trip
just-
there. I just
No,
not really sure how to keep track of that.
yeah, you're right.
But I'll do my best, like I always do.
I mean, I guess if that's in the state's thing, then I mean, we just leave it and Godspeed.
Yeah. Looks good to me.
So Bridgeton's eliminates that 25%. It says as long as the structure, as long as the maintenance, repair, and improvement remains within the footprint of the structure.
That makes
That's-
so
that
much
would- yeah,
more
would-
sense.
Yeah.
So
I would
we
hate to
need to
discourage
ask if we
somebody
can
from
eliminate
improvement.
that
You know, I mean,
25%?
some of these places need them.
Right.
Let's go Bridgeton.
Right.
But
I mean, I just, the cost of construction materials now will put you over that, like, ridiculous. Like, I just replaced a couple doors and I would shock you how much they
I went
cost.
to Handcraft Lumber Bag and Bond. Let me tell you.
You know, I'm just,
It was a
just in
budget sale.
general, just that,
well,
it's just
you're
like,
not putting a
whoa.
foundation
Right.
for 25%.
No, not when
Certainly not now.
concrete's $150 a yard.
I know.
You know, yeah.
All right, I will add that to our,
Yeah.
Ask Google list.
Good catch.
Yeah, if you could add that to the list, that would be good to see. Because there's obviously, what's that, the second one we found already? Where we
Yeah.
could potentially remove, but,
I mean, if we permitted windows, doors, siding, and roofing, that would be a much easier thing to track. But we don't, so I
Right.
don't know how I'm gonna do that.
And
Right.
we're only talking non-conforming
And
structures.
25% at this point, like we said. see. See what legal says.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
I predict we could have a lot more discussion on this new chapter.
Yeah. Right. Do you want to continue going through just these last two, or do you want to call it there? Or?
I would say call it. I think it's more than just two.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, we've got,
We have
well,
3,
just to get
4,
back to X5.
6,
yeah.
7, 8, 9, 10,
So
and
maybe we-
then the chart.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more to go through with
Yeah,
this one.
yeah, I think we're pushing that,
Yeah.
the limit and everything. Yeah. I would say we review, I guess, what's in this non-conforming section here and look at that.
For our next meeting.
For our next meeting, and kind of, I guess, maybe look at like the tables in which you have suggested and things like that, and maybe look at some other towns and see what their tables kind of look like as well, to do that. And then maybe if we bleed over into Chapter 2 administration in the beginning, first few sections.
Can I make a suggestion?
Go ahead. Sure. I'd love one.
So if we work on the non-conformance.
Okay.
And then maybe go back to the new laws that Meredith had given us, that packet. I think it was at the last meeting of the new laws. And maybe we tackle those two things.
Okay. Yeah.
I think we'll find that's gonna take us.
I think you're right. Let's just.
Open here.
Yes. Is that the one she sent us?
And our next meeting is February 4th, correct?
The one that's online.
I think so. I'll put it back up and,
Which one was the one Meredith had suggested? Just try to find that for reference.
yeah, I'm trying to pull it up.
You said the 4th, right?
I think it's the 4th, right? February 4th is our next meeting, the first Wednesday.
First Wednesday.
Let's see.
It's dated
Yes,
December 3rd, 2025.
yes.
Denmark Ordinance Review Committee.
I put hers in the red tab. Because it's legal.
Oh, okay, so it'd be this one.
I don't know if you put it in there, but I put it in the red tab.
Yep.
Because legal be redlining things.
The one that starts out with.
What's that? You put it in red too, look at you.
I don't think I did that.
Maybe I did that for you.
Did you put these together? Oh,
But I don't think we gave that a tab. I think you did that all by yourself. Or I helped you.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, there's more behind it. And then it's got some colors in it.
Betty, the next meeting is 2/4, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Just making sure we weren't sneaking another one in. Go to Maryland next week.
oh. for your monthly.
Are you here? You're back.
Oh, yeah, for that one, yeah. Next week I'm in Maryland. Doing senior NCO things.
Okay, I'm not.
As long as you're not doing
Do you not have that one?
No, no, no. And then in March I go to Delaware.
Jeez, rough crowds.
I'm gonna have such a fun time.
You can look at my email if you want.
Eric, are you discombobulated?
I think so. I didn't put it under the red tab.
He didn't put it.
How can I be ahead of you? Shut up. There's no
Mine's
way I'm
orange.
ahead of you.
Yeah, I got orange.
I'll
I
find
was
it.
You'll
going to
fi-
get
we'll
myself
find it.
here.
All right.
If you, I believe if you look on the town's website under our 12-3 meeting, I
Okay,
think it's
yeah.
under there.
Okay.
Or if you text me, I can reprint it for you.
Okay, so we'll look through Meredith's.
There it is.
Oh, look at
I think
that.
so.
There you go.
Yep.
That's it.
It's under the red tab.
Is it under your red tab?
Yeah.
It is.
I must have helped you.
I went right by it.
All right, so I guess we'll review the non-conforming chapter as well as Meredith's, any notes she may have in here that kind of go into that for an agenda.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me. I have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second?
Third.
All right, I believe this meeting is adjourned.